As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. Forever American is what I am.
Well, hello, good night, good evening. How you guys doing this beautiful Friday evening, March 31st? Tomorrow's April 1st, April Fool's Day, so be careful out there, of course. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Richard. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Tia. Hi, Nana. Hi, Debbie. Rogers. Hi, Brian. Hi, Andre. How you guys all doing tonight? Hi, Galinda. Hi, Rodney. Hopefully you guys are all being safe out there. Please like and share and follow the page if you're not already following. Definitely helps us out. Trying to make sure everyone gets notified when we go live. So also make sure you follow that Discord. But let's talk about what's going on today. I mean, this charge of Trump, or indictment of Trump. I mean, his weak legal theory over Stormy Daniels' payoff is a big mistake. Let's be honest. Both principle and pragmatic reasons, bringing the frivolous, weak case against Trump does nothing to help the cause of bringing him to justice, or trying to bring him to justice, or what they so-called claim. After weeks of speculation, former Donald Trump was indicted yesterday, but we don't know any specific charges yet. Indictments directly tied to his payoff with a woman that he had a brief affair, according to the news. But this is the thing. These NDAs get signed all the time, day after day. I mean, Hillary Clinton, when she was running for office, had over 1,000 NDAs and payoffs for people not to discuss certain things publicly, including what happened with her husband. I mean, these are ridiculous. I mean, this whole trial or sham of a grand jury are indicting him on federal charges or a federal crime at a state level. If they really thought, if federally they thought they had a case, they would have taken the case in federal court. They decided that it wasn't going to stand in federal court, so then they try to push it now in state court. A DA, of course, that's friends with Biden himself. It's ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous watching this. Of course, what are lawmakers saying about Trump's indictment? That's a different story. I mean, you got some people from both sides, like Waters, celebrating, saying sometimes justice works, and they post, or they hashtag Trump indictment. I mean, but then you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, saying on the other opposite side, one of several outspoken critics of Manhattan's district attorney's investigation into Trump's role in the hush money case. I mean, the irony of standing on the battleground when I found out President Trump had been indicted is profound. My president is innocent, the only one standing in the way of these modern day tyrants, just like the founding fathers did, to protect each other from evil, she wrote. And you got to think, it's one after another. It's not just, this is a terrible moment for the country. Terrible. It's showing that laws are being abused in every way possible. Every way possible. People are chanting, lock him up, and this is ridiculous. Hillary Clinton should have been locked up. She wasn't. She obviously broke the law. And you got all these senators, of course, the Democratic senators attacking Trump day after day, saying that it's a somber day for America and all this other stuff. All this case progresses, and let's see, neither celebrate nor destroy the former president. Saying that the former president is calling for violence. He's not. This is ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous. Trump, of course, released his own statement. I'm going to read out what he had to say, of course, because I think it's important. I think it's important to understand what the former president, Trump, and of course, running again, President Trump, said. In his statement, he said, "This is a political persecution on election interference at the highest level in history. From the time I came down to the golden escalator at Trump Towers, and even before I was sworn in as your president of the United States, the radical left Democrats, the enemy of the hardworking men and women of this country, have been engaged in a witch hunt to destroy the Make America Great Again movement. You remember, just as I do, Russia, the Mueller hoax, Ukraine, the impeachment hoax. Impeachment hoax number 2, the illegal and unconstitutional Mar-a-Lago raid, and now this. The Democrats have lied, cheated, stolen, and are obsessed with trying to get Trump. But now they're doing the unthinkable, indicting a completely innocent person in an act of blatant election interference. Never before in our nation has this been done. The Democrats have cheated countless times over the decades, including spying on political campaigns and weaponizing the justice system to punish political opponents. The political opponent, though, now just happens to be an ex-president of the United States and running again. And by far the leading Republican candidate for president. And this has never happened before. The Manhattan DA who was handpicked and funded by George Soros, is a disgrace. Rather than stopping the unprecedented crime wave taking over New York City, he's doing Joe Biden's dirty work, ignoring murders, burglars, assaults, and he should be focused on how is Bragg's spending his time. He's not. He's not doing anything that he should be doing. We know that they're no longer even charging prostitutes or a lot of other things. I mean, this is going to do nothing but give Trump a huge lead, I think, in the long run, because this witch hunt will backfire massively on Joe Biden and the Democratic Party all along. When the American people realize exactly what the radical left and Democrats are doing here, everyone can see it. Everyone understands what's happening. And it'll cause the defeat of Joe Biden, of course, and the Democratic Party and the crooked Democrats out of office. And hopefully we can restabilize our country. I mean, the ridiculousness, though, of all of this is facing more than 30 criminal charges related to business fraud under the supposable election fraud because of campaign violations. Well, the money that was paid to Stormy Daniels was given directly by his former attorney. And during the election process, even if it was or was not campaign money, at the time, he took a mortgage out on his house and donated or paid this money directly to her. So we can't say it was a donation. We can't say it wasn't a donation. Nobody can really call that. That's why the federal prosecutors dropped the case before this. Watching this happen, though, again and again, attacking presidents or attacking Republicans at every step in the way. Now they're trying to ban guns that have more than 10 rounds, or actually trying to take it down from 10 rounds to 5, I believe. This is ridiculous. Because the shooting that happened this past weekend, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. Lowering the ammunition count or lowering the amount of bullets you can keep in a clip is not going to stop somebody from doing damage or harm if they want to. It's not. We've seen this time and time and again. Nobody cares about Stormy Daniels. I know that. Nobody cares about what's happening with Stormy or the BS. Sleepy Joe's deals with China is allowed to go through and nobody talks about it. Nobody even wants to say anything. I mean, watching the right or the left attack Republicans at every step of the way, not just the president, but we've seen them supporting, or not supporting the shooter, but backing, saying that the regular American people, the Christians, were wrong in this situation with this lady shot 6 people in the school. This lady or man, whatever you want to call her. It's ridiculous. The facts are, no matter what happened, it wasn't a crime. It is not a crime to take and make an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and pay somebody to sign a non-disclosure agreement, not to talk about what happened. Paying somebody to sign an NDA is much less, under the circumstances here, obviously doesn't look good, but by definition, something that is not illegal. You may not want it in the public eye. I mean, the problems supposedly arise out of the fact that Trump was running for president. His campaign was subject to all the federal campaign finance laws. But federal law did not go after him. That's important. The state is trying to use federal charges to take him on. It's crazy. Literally. The state is using federal charges, which you can't charge a federal crime at the state level, to take on Trump. Meanwhile, we got like the East Palestine train derailment, that supposedly was totally safe for these people to go back in their homes, right? After the CDC teams did their studies in East Palestine. But yet now those CDC teams getting sick. I mean, at least 7 of the 15 investigators experienced symptoms of sore throats, headaches, coughing, and nausea, which are similar to the residents of the area reported following the train crash in early February. I mean, saying this hazardous materials that escaped into the air and water and soil were not harming these people, even though the CDC, that's what they wanted to say. The chemical exposure to these chemicals or fatigue caused symptoms is unclear. We know that, so for sure, these people are getting sick. We know the investigators are getting sick. I mean, nobody wants to talk about it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're no longer going to need a permit in Florida to carry a concealed gun. That's going to be interesting. But seeing the CDC trying to cover up this whole thing, and we know the federal government, of course, is suing them. I mean, the federal government is, of course, suing Norfolk Southern trains for allowing the toxic chemicals to be burnt off. I mean, this is crazy. The exposure of vinyl chloride alone, a cancer-causing substance that is used to make certain plastics that leaked out, is immense. This is something we'll be facing for years and years and years to go before people even realize what the true damage is. Meanwhile, we have other derailments. Now we have barges floating free with methanol on them. I mean, one thing after another. CDC. The CCP is the CDC. But the CCP, of course, is staging combat patrols and warning Taiwan about the U.S. speakers meeting. 9 Chinese aircraft crossed into the Taiwan Strait today, carrying out combat readiness patrols, the Taiwan Defense Ministry said, days after Beijing threatened retaliation if President Xi Jinping met with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. China claimed the democratically ruled Taiwan was part of its own territory despite strong objections from the island. But of course, we know it's one China because we agreed to the one China policy. It has been argued by what we see as stepping up the U.S. support for Taiwan is saying that we think Taiwan's independent. We're trying to, I posted about what would happen if we were to go to war with China and Russia, and it would be extremely bad. Yet we're pushing, of course, more, as of course that meeting with Taiwan's leader, trying to give them the true or feel of independence. We know that China's not going to stop, and China's pushing even harder now. So what happens when China decides to finally take back Taiwan? I mean, officially, it's Chinese territory. So are we going to go in to try to defend it? Are we going to go in and try to cause a war? Obviously, we are. I mean, Taiwan's armed forces are ready to respond using their own aircraft and ships, but try not to escalate the conflict or cause disputes. The U.S., of course, I think is actually trying to get to these actions, trying to get to an actual war. Watching what's happening, though, is just ridiculous. The United States is not only doing this here, but Ukraine, we're pushing more and more. We didn't send depleted uranium munitions to Ukraine. But as soon as Europe did, we went ahead and backed them. But we didn't because we knew it would violate the nuclear treaty. And we're watching this. China's stockpiling everything. So is India. So is Russia. Massive amounts of food being stockpiled underground in bunkers. Stockpiling fuel. We're watching this happen. Kamala Harris is not going to win over South Africa no matter what she tries to do. South Africa is Chinese ally. We can keep playing this game all we want. We want to try to get Ghana. What's Ghana got to do with it? Ghana doesn't have any industry or resources we actually need. Be prepared. Why are they preparing? You should be prepared. I would be suspicious too. I mean, watching what's happening, the tensions, the military escalations, and the conflicted messages that we're sending to China and the world by stating we believe that Taiwan is part of China, but yet at the same time meeting with Taiwan and calling their, of course, officially calling their president the president of Taiwan, which would be naming it a country or premier Taiwan. I mean, this is ridiculous. We'll watch this day after day. Every day it's a new thing. But we're watching this. It is ridiculous. I mean, China authorities are trying to unnecessarily cause trouble, hoping China will reduce its proactive actions. But the U.S. needs to step away. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, watching what's happening is just ridiculous. And then we got our own country, money going into these other countries. We know that. Keep dumping more and more benefits to these other countries. New Zealand is with China. They've already decided. But we got a terrible situation going on in Arkansas, and of course, the South tonight, parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, and of course, other areas. And according to this, including Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri now. Of course, watching this all happen. Severe storms sweeping the area. We got confirmations that tornadoes have touched down in Little Rock, or metro area of Little Rock. I mean, devastation. We haven't got any death counts yet, but we know injuries confirmed for sure. We got multiple reports of major damage to infrastructure and substantial damage as a result of the tornado that hit the region tonight. And this is crazy. I mean, they're asking the government, or the governor's office is asking people to stay away from the area, of course, and allow emergency responders to do their work and assess damages. Over 50,000 customers without power. Of course, they don't know what's happening. Of course, more storms moving in the area as the night goes on. Seeing damage, of course, one after another. The United States can't get itself organized. No, all the UFO sightings have not stopped. So we're watching this one after another endless cycle happening. We're now watching New Buffalo, Michigan until 3 a.m. Yep, that's what I was saying. The new storm watch just came out. There, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. And then, of course, we're watching the U.S. dollar drop in value. Euro, of course, dropped more than the U.S. dollar, but by this week, of course, the end of this week now, Friday, we have settled the dollar lower than we settled last week. This will be the 7th straight week in a row. 7th straight week in a row, the U.S. dollar closes lower. I mean, oil is settling higher as supplies are tightening. We know that. And who's going to end up paying for this banking crisis? We are. The people, let's be honest. U.S. dollar going down, banks, of course, closing. More banks, of course, on the chopping block now. It's crazy. Just watching everything that's happening. It's just ridiculous at this point. No, we will end up paying for it long before our children will. I hate to say it. Social Security is already expected to run out of money now in 2033. That was the new projections today. But watching what's happening is ridiculous. Profound, but it's ridiculous. Oh. But I'm going to sign off here, you guys. I love you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Of course, if you can afford to donate, please do. All donations, of course, go to families in need. Definitely appreciate that. And thank you, Beth and Bruce, for that donation. Thank you, Beth. God bless you guys. God bless America. Stay strong, stay true, and be prepared. Sorry I don't feel good tonight, but we will be back tomorrow night. Till then, stay safe. Of course, check out some of the posts I've made in the last couple of days. A lot of information there. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.